Sidekick is another one of the original Pilates repertoire exercises that is more advanced in nature. It's working the side body through both sides, as well as hip flexion and extension for mobility and for strength. Lots of stability in the trunk and the torso and the upper body, as well as the stabilizing leg, and is also a great prep for side planks. For setup for side kick, we want to start in our tall kneeling position. So I've got my knees at about hip distance apart, upright on the mat. I'm already thinking about drawing pubic bone to nose, lengthening out through my lower back. So we've got an open pelvis to work with, and we're really stacked upright on top of our knees. From here, arms come out wide, and you want to lean over to place the hand down to the mat. So that's how we just get our placement of how far does my arm need to be away from my bottom knee. Kick the top leg out long and the top arm up to the ceiling. We're really lifted through the lower side. We're working to stay in this open plane to the front. So we're in the side body, making sure we're not rotating forward or back. And then we're going to lift the top leg up to a hover in line with the hip with the foot flexed. And then the actual side kick exercise is very similar to our side lying series on the floor. So we're just going to kick the leg straight forward, point the toes, and press back. Kick the leg straight forward as the belly button draws to the spine, point the toes, and press straight back. All the while trying to keep the body stacked and as stable as you can, which is not as easy as it looks in this position. Common problems I somewhat touched on in the setup for this exercise, but one of the things we'll see is that people kind of halfway rotate down towards the floor, just because this gives us more access to the front of our body, which tends to be stronger than the side of our body. So we want to cue chest and pelvis open to the front. Another thing that we'll see is people kind of drop down into this bottom hip, but we really want that bottom thigh bone driving down into the floor and hip pressing forward. So again, we're having to use that bottom leg to stabilize as we move this top leg as well. Lastly, we'll see people kind of hang their head down, where we really want to work on keeping that in line with the rest of the spine for our head, neck, and shoulder alignment as well. The other common problem that we'll see frequently is that as people start to kick their leg, they are just kind of swinging their body forward or back, or rotating forward and back, similarly to how we see in side lying position. So just making sure that you're cueing that stability in the upper body as well as they move. As far as modifications go for this exercise, because it's a more advanced Pilates mat exercise, there aren't a ton of modifications we can do to the exercise itself. However, if somebody is feeling their wrist, you could have them on their fist. You can do a version of this down on the forearm, right, where we're lifted here, but you could also just come all the way down into a side lying position on the forearm. And this is just a great way to kind of be in a similar position, working similar things, but take some of the pressure off of the bottom knee and the bottom hip. This is going to give people a little bit more stability as well.